Is it time to panic in Norman, Oklahoma, and have the Sooners blown their chance at another Big 12 conference football title? Pull up a chair, sit back, relax, and let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome into another edition of Coos' Corner. So pull that chair up, and let me serve you up another shot of top shelf college football content. Today, we're focusing on the Big 12. We're focusing on the Oklahoma Sooners. There seems to be some panic amongst Sooner Nation, among the Oklahoma fan base, that by the Sooners losing at home to Kansas State, that it has blown their opportunity to win the Big 12. Now, I'm going to present to you why that is a valid argument. However, I'm also going to present to you the other side. I'm going to tell you why it's not a valid argument. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my personal opinion on the matter. So first, let's give you the argument that, yes, Oklahoma did blow their chance of winning the Big 12. First, they lost at home to a team that they were expected to beat in Kansas State. They lost the first game of the Big 12 schedule, which means they're 0-1, which means they still have 9 games ahead of them, and they can't afford to lose again. So it means they're going to have to reel off 9 games in a row now in order to win the Big 12. That's one school of thought. And you factor in that they still have to play the Oklahoma State. They still have to play Texas in the Red River rivalry, which is almost always a close game. They still have to go to Morgantown and play West Virginia. Not sure how good West Virginia is going to be yet, but we all know Morgantown's always a tough place to play. They still have to play Baylor, who's also a ranked team right now, and who's the defending Big 12 champion. So there's going to be a really tough road to hoe for the Sooners going forward if they want to get back at the top of the Big 12 conference. And you're trying to do it in a first-year head coach in Brent Venables, who's never been in this seat before as a head coach. Is he going to be able to motivate his guys and keep them in the right mindset to not let this Kansas State game ruin their season and prevent them from achieving their goals of winning a Big 12 title? Now I'm going to present to you the other argument as to why there shouldn't be cause for concern and as to why Oklahoma can still win. Number one, they're Oklahoma. They're loaded with talented guys. They're good. They've got an experienced quarterback in Dylan Gabriel. They've got a really good play caller in Jeff Levy. They have a good head coach in Brent Venables, or at least a guy who's expected to be a really good head coach who's learned from some of the best coaches in the world, and Bill Snyder, Bob Stoops, Dabo Sweeney, some of the best coaches to ever walk the sidelines. He's learned from them. And when you look at their schedule, most of their tough opponents, or the ones who are expected to be tough, are at home. Their next game is at TCU, which they should win. Then they play the Red River rivalry game against Texas, which will be at a neutral site. Then they play at home against Kansas, a 1-0 Kansas team who's right now leading the conference and who looks like a pretty good football team this year. That game is at home. They have Baylor at home, the number 16 ranked Baylor Bears. They have them at home. The Bedlam rivalry game against Oklahoma State is at home. So when you look at the teams they play at home versus the teams they have to play on the road, which is Texas Tech, Iowa State, TCU, and West Virginia, their home schedule lines up really good for them. Also, you got to look at the fact it was Kansas State, and for whatever reason, Kansas State seems to almost own Oklahoma, especially in Norman. They've won like 5 out of the last 7 or something like that in Norman. Some crazy number. So Kansas State beating Oklahoma is nothing to panic about because it happens a lot, number one. And two, Kansas State's a good football team. Yes, they lost to Tulane a couple weeks ago, but that doesn't mean they're a bad team. They had one bad game. They may have played down to their competition in that game, but that doesn't mean they'll let it happen again. And they lost to a Kansas State team who could potentially also compete for a Big 12 title, which is nothing to be ashamed of. And you only lost by a score. It's not like they blew you out. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you my opinion. First of all, guys, if you like Big 12 content, I encourage you to please like this video and also please subscribe to my channel because there's going to be a lot more Big 12 content to come. Obviously, as you can see, I'm a West Virginia fan. If you love West Virginia content as well, this is a channel for you. Please subscribe. Also, please hit the like button if you like what I have to say so far. and share this with your friends. And also drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Do you think Oklahoma's season is ruined? And do you think they have a chance to still win the Big 12 title? Now, my opinion, I don't think it has ruined their chance at a Big 12 title for the reasons I laid out a minute ago. Losing to Kansas State is nothing to be ashamed of, man. Kansas State's a good football team. They have one of the best running backs in the country in Deuce Vaughn. They've got a dual threat quarterback in Adrian Martinez, who played the game of his life. They have a good coach in Chris Kleiman. They have a really stout defense. So losing to Kansas State is not the end of the world. 2, you're Oklahoma, man. You are loaded with 4- and 5-star players. Most of the games you go into, you will have, on paper at least, the most talented team, the most talented roster from top to bottom. So you should be able to play with anybody in the country. Another reason, like I said, a lot of your toughest opponents are at home. Oklahoma State and Baylor, to name the first 2. Now, you do have to go to Iowa State, which is a tough place to play. I get it. You do have to go to Morgantown, but those are both games you should win. You should beat TCU on the road. Every single game left on Oklahoma's schedule, they will likely be favored in. So they should still have a legit chance to win the Big 12. One conference loss is not going to cost you a Big 12 title, because this conference is likely going to beat each other up, at least most of the teams. So, heck, Oklahoma could drop one more game and still win the Big 12 title. So, Oklahoma fans, I encourage you, don't get discouraged by this one loss. It's only one loss, and it was to a pretty good football team. So don't get discouraged. Keep your head up. Keep rooting for your Sooners. Continue to have faith in Brent Venables, because I still think he's the coach for you. I still think he's going to be a really good head football coach. I still think he's a coach that can lead you into the SEC. So don't get discouraged. Now, do I think Oklahoma will win the Big 12? That's a whole other question. I do not. I think Oklahoma's going to be a good team this year. Yes, I think they will probably win at least 9 football games. However, I do see them dropping at least one more game and maybe 2, because I do think it will take this team at least 1 to 2 years to adapt to Brent Venables' culture and to completely buy in. I think it may take him a year or 2 to get his types of guys in that he wants, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So once he's able to do that and marry that up with this Jeff Lebby offense and the OU DNA, as they call it, I think Oklahoma is still going to be a really good football team, and I still think they will be competing for a conference title this year. I just don't think they're going to win it. I personally think Baylor will end up winning the conference again this year. I really like what Dave Aranda is doing over there, and I do think overall they're going to be the better football team. But I could be totally wrong. So let me know in the comment section, Oklahoma fans, what do you think? Are you panicking right now? Do you think this loss means you won't win the conference? What do you I want to hear your thoughts. Any other if you're not an Oklahoma fan, all other Big 12 fans, what do you think? Do you think Oklahoma still has a legit chance to win the Big 12? I want to get your opinion on that. I ask you folks to please go check out my merch store. I've got several items you can choose from: coffee mugs, hats, T-shirts, hoodies, mouse pads, iPhone cases, all kinds of different items over there. I got several different designs you can choose from. Don't forget, if you want to support me financially, you can also hit that thanks button right below the channel here. It's a heart with a dollar sign in the middle. You can make a one-time donation as small or as large as you want to. If you want to support me long-term financially and become a Cougars Corner channel member, you can do that. Hit the join button right below this video. Shout out to my newest member, Dennis Haiti. Also, shout out to Chris D., who recently upgraded from a Country Roads level member to the Mountaineer Maniac level member. So he will get a few extra perks. One of those perks, merch discounts. Mountaineer Maniac level members get a discount on merch. There's a link I have left in my community tab for those Mountaineer Maniac level members that they can use to access the discounted merch store. So please take advantage of that while you can. Also, I'm getting ready to do a raffle. I'm going to raffle off a prize, and only Cougars Corner channel members will be eligible to win a prize. Mountaineer Maniac level members will get their name in the drawing twice. Country Roads level members will get their name in the drawing once. I haven't decided what the prize is going to be yet, but it will likely be a mini helmet of your favorite team. So don't forget, if you want to become a member, if you want to join that raffle, join Cougars Corner below, and also take advantage of early access to videos, some special live streams that I'll let you join me on, things like that I offer only to my channel members. Also, if you want to support me free, Like I mentioned earlier, you can like this video, share it with your friends, drop a comment below, and subscribe if you haven't. With that being said, I really appreciate your support and for you tuning in. And until the next time, Q Country Roads.